I'm Dr. Thompson Akwantuba, the Chief Editor of Health and Development Magazine, and I continue to speak to you on the subject of global health. Global health. And so you notice that I have spoken to you on global health and some of the things that global health does. Now, there are many, many people who are involved in global health without actually calling it global health. Let me take that again. You know, maternal and child health. Child health and child survival is part of global health. And so, if you don't actually know this, you will make some mistakes as you practice global health. Now, infectious diseases, chronic diseases, and related health issues, they manifest at the different stages of life, verily. But when I teach my healthcare people, especially in Africa and other places around the world, in conferences and in my international travels in Europe, in Germany, France, and Italy, and all of those places, and that I share and I bring resources, I make them to understand that there are different and many nationals who are involved in global health. And so, our definition of measurement of global health is known because in the first teachings, I talk about the daily and the qualis and the mortality rates and all the other rates and the denominators and all the other things that are involved in this work in epidemiology, especially in the area of population care, are very, very important. But those who are mostly working in population care are not exempt from global health because the global population occasionally has diseases which are pandemic. That is to say that, they are spread all over. They cut across national and international boundaries. And they require economic, political, goodwill corporations from nations, non-profits, international organizations, associations like the United Nations, the World Health Organizations, institutions like the World Bank, some of those that we work with as partners. But I continue to say, as we continue to live these legacy teachings in the Thompson Akwa-Ntuba University, TANU, under conferences and workshops and all of that, I want you to understand that without a good grasp of global health, you will make a mess of the issues. So you hear people say that child health, child survival is part of global health. People say that maternal health and reproductive health is part of global health. There are some people who say child health and maternal health is part of all of that is part of global health. But now get it. Because I told you that infectious diseases are part of global health, the modules that we take. And I also told you that chronic diseases are part of global health. But what about infectious diseases, a global health issues that manifest in children? So there are people who are consultant specialists, pediatricians, who specialize in childhood or pediatric infectious diseases. So you got that. I said infectious diseases are part of global health. I also said child health and maternal health are part of global health. Then I am now beginning to show you how they are related. As much as infectious diseases are part of global health, there are those infectious global health diseases which actually are seen more in the pediatric age group. There are those chronic diseases. I told you about chronic diseases which are part of global health, and I told you about cancer, diabetes, and all the others, some of them which we actually prevent and control as we promote your health through good nutrition, because nutrition and water itself is part of global health. There are those conditions in childhood, diseases like marasmus, kwashiorkor, marasmic kwashiorkor, nutritional deficiency manifesting as problems, health problems. There are even those who say that there are lots of cancers which are related to poor diet and all of those. Global health. As you understand these teachings, you will come to that place where you begin to get interested in global health and to speak global health. So, I have told you about maternal health, child health, and I'm now linking some of the global health issues that we discuss and we take care of, which I had already told you in the previous discussion. Infectious diseases, chronic diseases. There are people who are physicians who are specialized. They are infectious disease specialists or consultants, and the age group or the population that they predominantly clerk, consult, investigate, diagnose, and treat are actually women. So you hear OB-GYN, obstetrics gynecology. Now, don't get me wrong. There are OB-GYNs, there are obstetricians, there are gynecologists. Those two are not the same. But in the most part, they try to make sure that the trainings go together. But an obstetrician mostly deals with pregnancy, labor work, delivery, and all of that. And a gynecologist is a physician who actually specializes in the health issues of women. You know, pregnancy is not a sickness, it's not a disease. But when you have gynecologists or internal medicine people who specialize in infectious diseases, and their population that they predominantly work with are women, that is maternal health, that goes with chronic diseases, infectious diseases. So we have women who have cancer, we have women who have infectious diseases and all of that. Then the geriatric age group and all the others. So I wanted to put this in perspective, because as I continue to tell you, now you have an idea of the people who are involved. They are nurses, they are paramedics, they are physicians like me, international physician, they are lawyers like Beatrice, who went to do some work on the legal work on HIV/AIDS, like me, who work with at the Golden Jubilee of the Queen in England with the Commonwealth magistrates and judges on HIV/AIDS and all of that. HIV/AIDS actually affects pediatric age. That's an infectious disease in global health. It also affects adults, women, men, the geriatric age, and all of that. So I am talking to you about global health. Some of you say I'm specialized in global health, but I want to work with the pediatric children. So you know how to do that. Some of you go into public health, global. Now, I don't want to interchange the word public health and global health. Global health is not the same as public health, but there's a global public health or public health that is involved in global health. But I am getting you to know this because it is very, very important for you to appreciate this concept and teaching that I have brought to you.